No woman in my life ever lost sleep about putting me in a nicer, safer home, a nicer neighborhood.
What up, dude? This your boy Peanut, the People's Nut, man. I'm just a practitioner of life-giving helpful advice, man. I got a great video for you today, fellas, man. We're gonna talk about why the patriarchy will always exist. Contrary to what a lot of women get online and say, that's why I hate the word patriarchy, especially when I hear modern women say it, man. I just immediately shut down when I hear the word patriarchy because they honestly know they benefit from the patriarchy. The only reason why they don't like the patriarchy is because they can't wield the patriarchy like they want to. And that's what they want to do. They want to be able to wield the patriarchy to do their bidding and do everything. In this video, man, we're going to break down why the patriarchy exists and why it will always exist, because women honestly uphold and still benefit from the patriarchy. This first clip is definitely a great clip, and I thought I would share it with you guys to give you a little bit of hope that it's still good women out there. It's still women that understand men. It's still women that show empathy towards the sacrifices and all the good things that men do for women and society, man. So let's jump into it.
I could not live one day as a man. No way. Not only do men have to have themselves together, but they have to make sure the people that are following them are in order too. So he has to have eyesight not only for himself, but for everybody else around him. He has to lead everybody else, which means he does have to take his feelings and gobble them so that everybody else can lean on him. And I can't handle that. I want to be soft, I want to be coddled, I want to be taken care of, I want a hug. And I want a lot of grace when I make a mistake and I mess up. And a lot of women, we expect that other people give us grace. I mean, if I make a mistake, you should know that my emotions and my feelings got involved and I didn't mean it. But God forbid a man does that. I mean, society holds them to a certain standard, and God even holds them to a certain standard. I'm a woman, and I want to cry, and I want a lot of grace. I want people to cheer me on when I do stuff right. You know, when I think logically, it makes sense. People cheer me on for it as a woman, because it's unheard of when women hold themselves accountable and want to reach for a certain standard. You know, that's holy that God wants us to live by. But men don't get cheered on when they do stuff right. We just magnify when they do wrong, and when they do right, it was already expected of you. You don't get hugged and coddled and cheered on for it. And I just couldn't live like that. I couldn't live as a man. I would just like be done, you know? Bye. Because what's the point? I don't get a hug and I don't get loved when I try so hard. God forbid as a man, like, you mess up in any capacity. God forbid. You know, the people around you will remind you of it to the day you die. There's just so much expectation and standard for a man. And I know other men are going to say, you know, they have to. God appointed them. So they have to. Even biblically, God holds men to a higher standard that you have to live by, and expectations out of you that you have to live by. You have to be on point because everybody's counting on you. Everyone that's following you and that's under you is counting on you. You have to have eyesight for everybody around you that is following you, that you are leading. You need to not only know yourself, but know them, so you know how to appoint them and you know how to lead them and how to guide them, which means you have to have a whole lot of self-awareness. And I as a woman, I just could never be a man.
Fellas, there's still hope out there. It's still good women. It's still women that show empathy and compassion towards men. So don't give up hope. I'm not about to be one of these content creators that get on here and be all doom and gloom, that just give up, go your own way. Because honestly, I think every man needs a woman, because women show men areas that they're lacking in and that they probably need to grow in. But make no mistake, I don't think no woman could walk a mile in a man's shoes. We saw when one woman tried, that journalist Nora, we saw what happened and how she offed herself because she couldn't handle the pressures that many men, just the average men, the day-to-day man, go through. This is why I honestly hate the word patriarchy. I really shut down when I hear modern women say patriarchy, because they benefit so much from the patriarchy and they still uphold the patriarchy. So the patriarchy will always exist. Reason one why the patriarchy will always exist. What do we hear oftentimes when we hear women online? Send me money. I need a man that either makes more or equal to me. I need a man to I need a man to teach me something. I need a man to be a leader. I need a man to do this. Honestly, if women really honestly wanted to dismantle the patriarchy, they would just get a beta male. Like, they really like beta males, but they want a beta rich male to just buy them stuff so they can wield him the way they want him to wield him and send him out and do their bidding. But women honestly love the patriarchy because they benefit so much from the patriarchy. They really do. Reason two that women don't want the patriarchy to be dismantled. What do we always hear? Men don't protect us. And you hear women getting mad that men are not giving up their seats to women, that men are not chivalrous, men are not stopping to help them when they trying to put stuff in their car. So the patriarchy will always exist because women benefit from the patriarchy. They benefit from the generosity of men. Reason three why the patriarchy will always exist. Like she said, they want a pat on the back for just the little things that they do. What do we often hear women scream that they're independent? I got my own car. I got my own job. I got my own money. Kudos for you. Kudos for being a functional adult. Like, like, men don't get a clap or a pat on the back or get a hooray for doing things that are expected of us as adults. We don't get a pat on the back for having our own place. We don't get a pat on our back or congratulations for getting our own car. It's just expected of us. So that's why I honestly don't believe women will want the patriarchy to not exist, because they benefit so much from the patriarchy. I hope you fellas enjoyed that clip, man. Let's jump into this next clip.
50 when it benefits them. Let me explain. What I mean by this is, have you ever noticed that when women bring up a 50-50 conversation, it always has to do with household chores, emotional labor, cooking and cleaning? But the conversation is almost never about when was the last time that you fixed his car? When was the last time you took his car for an oil change? When was the last time that man got to sit on the couch and not hang your pictures on the wall? When was the last time you fixed the plumbing or fixed your own car? Exactly, because 50-50 is not a real thing unless it benefits women. So let me get this straight. Women have added all of this emotional labor and all of these house chores while he's been working. And what does he get in return? He gets lukewarm effort. He gets lack of loyalty. He gets nagging. He gets a bad attitude. He gets a woman that doesn't value the relationship and doesn't take pride in taking care of a family or him. Women will almost never acknowledge a man's labor in the relationship because it's expected. But when he expects her to cook and clean, oh no, now it's a problem. And you see this a lot when women go to get divorced. The only other time that women give a fuck about 50-50 is when you're going through a divorce. Again, because it benefits them. So it's just crazy to me that this is still a conversation, because if you truly believed in 50-50, that man wouldn't have to add more to his plate while you simply sit back and do the same things that you've always been doing. Okay, bye.
Like she said, man, women scream all day long, I ain't going 50-50. But as soon as it's a divorce, they want to go 50-50. They want to take half your stuff, man. But honestly, I wouldn't want no woman to work on my car. So look, I'm not expecting you to change my oil or do anything because I don't want you to mess up my stuff. That's just me, man. That's just me. I highly recommend all you fellas to read this book. Ladies, you too, because you can learn something from it. It's called The Manipulated Man. I'm going to put the book somewhere, the title somewhere in here, so you can see it, so you can go read it or just skim over it, man, because it's a great book. And it shows how women have manipulated men into doing these things or believing that we're getting a deal by doing all these things. And the trade-off is women cooking and cleaning and all that other stuff. When honestly, many of us can cook and clean now. The modern man can cook and clean and take care of himself. So what are we really honestly getting out of the deal? I've been saying this for years. Men love unconditionally, but women love conditionally. Like, what do we get out the deal other than that we love you? The things that we do for a woman is honestly because we love her. But a woman, if you're not meeting certain criterias, she won't love you. They tolerate a lot. If you actually at a certain level, they would tolerate a lot. They'll tolerate you cheating on them and all that other stuff. That's why when you get money, those men can do a lot more stuff, because I guess you provide a lot more security for them women. But they honestly can't say that they love them men. They love what those men do for them. Many women only love how a man makes them feel. They don't actually love the man. They love the ideal of the man. And this is why I hate the word patriarchy. I really hate that word patriarchy. And another word I honestly hate, and I hate hearing it from women, is that I deserve. They feel like they deserve, and it shows their immaturity and their entitlement when they say things like, I deserve. You don't deserve anything. The world don't owe you anything. A better word would be I created. I created an environment to where my man feels the need to want to provide for me. I created something. I cultivated and created myself into being this value that this man sees so much value in me that he wants to take care of me, that he wants to give me a soft life. You don't deserve a soft life just because you're pretty. You don't deserve a man to pay all your bills just because you're pretty. You could be a nag. You could be like, you don't deserve anything. This is why I hate those two words, and I hate it coming from modern women, because they are half of what their grandmas and moms do, but they like to twist history and act like these women weren't actually better women than these women are. Those women back in the day deserved all of that. They deserved to get taken care of. And then they just don't even take into consideration how the economy works and everything like this. And it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They all trying to emotionally manipulate men into doing things, and they don't show any type of gratitude or any type of appreciation for all the sacrifices that men make for women. And this man in the next clip is going to break it down.
No woman in my life ever lost sleep about putting me in a nicer, safer home, a nicer neighborhood. No woman ever thought about taking me away on a nice sunny vacation to recharge or relax. No woman thought about making more money so I don't have to call someone else boss. No woman ever took out $1 million life insurance policy on herself so I wouldn't struggle if she dies. Women, not all, but most, have no clue or give a shit about the sacrifices men make and what comes natural to us to create a nice life for them. Going back to the beginning, men are friggin' amazing. We are builders. And cheers to all my fellow builders.
Gentlemen, like he said, you're awesome. Try to blank out all the noise that you hear on the internet, how all these women, especially in the West, continue to bash men and say we don't need men and we pick the bear and all this other stuff, because they're just speaking from their emotions at that moment, in that present moment, because we honestly know they need men. They need men. Society would not be better without men, because men still hold most of the dangerous jobs. And shout out to all you men that's out there making all these sacrifices so society can run good. Shout out to the garbage men. Shout out to the men that's building buildings. Shout out to the construction workers. Shout out to the power line people. Shout out to the water people, waterways people. Shout out to all these men where there's still male-dominated fields that keep the society running. Don't let what these women say online make you feel bad, and don't let that shit phase you. Keep doing what you're doing and keep your head up, because, man, you are freaking awesome, like he said in that clip. And these are the reasons why the patriarchy has existed and will always exist. Because those fringe women, all these crazy feminists now, the third, fourth wave feminists, they just want to disregard gender. They want to disregard the things that they expect of men. They just want to disregard all of that stuff and keep throwing this word patriarchy to try to manipulate you into doing things and being weak and docile. But we're not going to let that work. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man. And I hope y'all appreciate this video. This is appreciation for all the good men out there. And I hope y'all enjoy. It's your boy Peanut the People's Nut, man. Peace.